We are now talking about Chelsea, and I think this is the perfect message to start with. Justin says Zagreb transfer spend in the summer, 6 million. Chelsea spend in the summer, 250 million. In fact, Neil goes again and goes a bit further. He said Chelsea spent close to 300 million, 281 to be precise, a world record. Even if we were to put the results aside, is this squad truly 300 million euros better for it?
Well, that's what we said that in the green room, didn't we, before? Like, is this, if you're looking at this team, would you say that this squad is better than the squad that finished the season last year? I think the one key point is I don't think the manager yet knows his best team, because he hasn't obviously had them long enough. But it's like, I just don't know. I don't think if you said put your best team out right now, I still think you'd be humming and ahhing about a couple of positions.
There was an amazing tweet that won the Chelsea's best attacker spending near 300 million is a homegrown right back. That is nailed on, by the way.
Reece James.
He's their biggest threat. And when you spend that money, you want instant results. But the thing is as well, you know, Henry Winter saying Hakim Ziyech, you know, fabulous player. Been great in the Champions League, doesn't play. Christian Pulisic, you know, another fabulous player. You think about all these assets they have.
What is happening?
But listen, when you invest in new talent, and how many players have they got in this window? They must have about 5 or 6 players they've brought in.
Cucurella, Fofana, Koulibaly,
Aubameyang,
the young boy from Villa.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying. That needs to be integrated now. That needs to be worked on the training field. And listen, in our game, in football, you're not afforded time, and time is not something that you're given anymore. But when you bring in new players, and you do need time for that to work. But listen, this is a manager who came in and got this team working instantly after Frank Lampard was sacked. So he knows how to do that, and they can't ask for a better person to be able to do that and get this team going again in that respect.
Well, look, thanks for your messages using the hashtag UCL tonight. Thanks for your WhatsApps as well. You can WhatsApp us here in the studio. What do you feel about that message, Owen?
Yeah, you know what? When I watch Chelsea play, I really like watching them play. But I think all the football has to be perfect because everything's so technical. And the problem is when they have so much possession, teams are deep, every pass has to be perfect. You see now with Haaland, you know, you can just put it in there. They don't really have that. You know, Mount or Havertz, they're not running those channels. So
is that what Aubameyang's for?
Probably, I think so, yeah. I think they realise they just need something different. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's just Kante. Honestly, maybe it's that simple.
You love him, innit? You love him.
Yeah, I just think he makes the team better. You know, he turns over possession in areas, and I think Aubameyang is probably something that they needed. And, you know, they obviously didn't probably have his best night tonight, but he's always seemed, like we said about Haaland, he seems to be in that spot where he should be.
Could you judge him when he's been out for a long time? He's had a personal issue as well he's had to deal with after he got broken into. He's wearing a mask this evening after being attacked. It's not necessarily the right night to judge Aubameyang.
Jake, the reason Barca are in the Champions League because of him, in many ways. Yeah. You know, he went over there after leaving Arsenal under a little bit of a cloud, losing the captaincy. I think he's going to have a huge point to prove. He'll be hungry. And I think he'll definitely score goals. But
I think
as you can see, everything's really crowded there. You know, I think it's hard. If you're a centre forward, you probably want a bit of space, don't you?
Yeah.
To work. You don't get that, I think, in this system. You know, it can't be a coincidence. Lukaku, you know, didn't really work. Maybe the system doesn't really suit a centre forward.
So is this a case of Thomas Tuchel having so many new players that this is almost a period he has to go through to get to know these players, understand the system, understand what works best for them?
Yeah, I think that's a part of it, but also I think a big element is this window, he had a lot of players wanting to leave, which upsets the dynamic within the group. So he's had a lot to deal with in that sense, and managing that element. There's been players that have been left late in the window, who've been sitting there, and those players become a little bit cancerous. And if they're sitting around for too long and being in there, it can really affect the environment. And I think that's been a big key part of it. And now you've got new players coming in and you're trying to rebuild that and rebuild a culture. So there's a lot to contend with here. Listen, the amount of money they spent is always going to be the overriding kind of talking point. But I think you've got to consider the other points too.